Hey there. This is an extremely dirty system. I think something is alive in here, or was alive at one point, because there are spider webs pretty much everywhere at the base of this, and I'm trying to play it safe, not bring it into my house before it's been at least somewhat cleaned. Now I want to apologize for the wind. It's just an effect of being outside. First thing I'm going to do, take a leaf blower to this thing, get most of this early grime out. Not worried about the fans spinning, ruining the bearings here. These are old fans. This is an old case. We'll be replacing all of this with a brand new Be Quiet Silent Bass 802. The 802 is a large mid tower with plenty of hardware support and plenty of airflow. It's gonna be linked down below. Be Quiet is the sponsor of this video. All right, folks, we're gonna jump straight into that leaf blower segment, and we'll get to cleaning up thoroughly everything else in here. Here we go. I found it. Take this off. I found where the spider's nest was behind the power supply. Now, if you're arachnophobic, I apologize. Go ahead and skip ahead, but I want to zoom in here to show you what we're dealing with. This looked like it was a pretty large spider at one point. It has, of course, kind of just crusted over and rotted there over time. But look, this is just a heads up for you guys. Like, I make these videos not only so that you can be entertained, but also so that you can learn a thing or two to inform you of how bad systems can get over time if they are neglected, if they are not routinely cleaned. And you don't need to clean your system every week or every month to keep spiders like this one out of your rig, but you should clean it at least thoroughly once a year, I would say, depending on where you live, maybe once every 6 or 3 months. If it's especially dusty where you live, then that can accumulate rather quickly. So let this be a PSA to all of you out there who have not cleaned your system yet. Crap like this, yeah, this is really nasty, but this is not, believe it or not, uncommon. Spiders especially love to burrow in small crevices. Behind the power supply in this case makes perfect sense, tends to be rather hot in these cases, especially when they're stored in garages and storage units. So I'm not surprised, and you shouldn't be either if you see something like this in a rig you haven't cleaned in several years. So clean your rigs, folks. Now, with that scare tactic out of the way, I'm gonna go ahead and take this case outside, thoroughly blast it with water, get all that dust out of there, get that spider's nest and whatever else we can find in here out of it. I'm probably going to hand clean these hard drive cages here. I will take the left and right side panels though. I have that left panel down there. But yeah, the main chassis here, this part, we're definitely gonna take outside. Here we go. on to day 2, hence the different attire. Everything has been thoroughly cleaned. It's sitting on the shelf behind me, and we're going to talk about the Silent Base 802 here. This case actually has a lot in common with the previous case that was housing all these components, and I believe that case was from Antec, though the 802 you'll see is much more modern, so a lot of hardware support baked into this one. Now let's go ahead and tackle the elephant in the room. Greg, airflow does not look like it's very good in this case. You have rather sealed off front and top panels. What's up with that? Well, it's because Be Quiet wanted to satisfy 2 different types of builders here. So you could leave it just like this, rather sealed off, yes, but your build's gonna be pretty quiet, especially if it's not a very hot system, if you're not overclocking the like. But you could always swap out the top panel. Actually, it's 2 smaller panels there for 1 big mesh panel. It's included with the 802. And you could always swap the closed off front panel with sound damping material for this mesh front panel. And yes, this is also included with the 802. So there you go. You get the best of both worlds. Whatever you're feeling on whatever day, just swap them out. Takes 10 seconds. Now this is technically classified as a mid-tower because it has 7 PCI slots at the rear plus 2 vertical slots. You get 3 PureWings 2 140 mil fans included with this case. Plenty of space down below for a very large power supply. 2 hard drives. You can buy additional hard drive cages if you want to just throw a crazy NAS or whatever in here. And you can fit up to eATX motherboards. So let's get things started. I'm actually really interested to see what this will all look like when combined. You have a modern case and then some relatively old hardware. A case revamp can go a long way in reviving an old build. So yeah, let's get started with the platform. And one more issue we just ran into, it's old hardware, what can I say? This 8-pin EPS cable for the CPU is too short. I mean, I've tried flipping the power supply fan side up, fan side down, because it is closer to one side of the unit, but it's not gonna make it. In fact, I couldn't even force it into that slot. So, and that's with the power supply not even all the way in. So we're gonna swap it out. The good thing is I have a pretty sweet power supply to upgrade this viewer with. This is a Be Quiet Straight Power 11 750 watt 80 plus platinum fully modular power supply. It's a mouthful, but this power supply is pretty beast, and it's definitely an upgrade over that 700, 750 watt, whatever that is, thermal take power supply. And I'm not sure how old that is anyway. I think it's like 7 or 8 years old, if it's as old as the remaining components in here. So this will be quite nice, peace of mind, an excellent warranty, excellent efficiency. We can select the cables we want to connect, which saves a space under the basement shroud. And it fits the Be Quiet theme. This is a Be Quiet sponsored video. Why not? You get a nice case, you get a nice power supply. This viewer is going to be able to upgrade pretty much anything else from here on out and not have to worry about power delivery or case compatibility. This case actually has USB Type-C and USB 3.0 support, and the board doesn't support either of those. It's just too old. So yeah, in the future, when he decides to upgrade, if he decides to upgrade, he'll have, that availability there. So let's get this thing in the system, pull out that old thermal take. And while we are getting things set up to make sure the system posts before we give it back to the viewer, I had to find one of these DVI to HDMI adapters. So yeah, that's a thing. GTX 516 here only has a single HDMI port, and it's an HDMI mini port of all ports, which I don't have a cable for. So yeah, one of these we'll have to do. And we'll get that hooked up to our little display here for testing. Many of you have been asking what this small little portable monitor is. I will have it linked below. I'm not going to link it in every one of these videos, but I do use it in almost every one of these videos to check for posts and whatnot. So this is from Pixio. I think it's a PX170 or something, but it's a small little portable monitor, powers via USB-C, which is cool. It has a native HDMI mini connection, oddly enough, but they include a cable for HDMI mini to straight up regular HDMI, which is cool. So let's see if it turns on. The power switch here at the rear on. I think I wired front IO correctly. It's a bit weird with some of these older boards, but she powers up. Awesome. Oh, we have a post. That was really quick. Cool. Yeah, this motherboard's actually one of the few that has a Dr. Debug LED, which was a rare sight, especially back then. So really cool to see. I think we have our drive detected as well, just a single hard disk drive. Okay, cool. We're ready to go. The combination, I kind of dig it. I'm probably going to be crucified in the comments for saying this, but I actually dig the Soultorque cooler. Yes, it is quite loud, especially compared to these super quiet Pure Wings 2 fans. The 140mm variants are just so quiet, even under heavy load. But apart from that annoyance with that small Soultorque cooler, everything else, I dig it. I really do. There's no RGB of any kind in this build, which is pretty cool. Just, you know, old school, good old non-RGB days. Nothing wrong with that. The board has a few LED accents here and there, but nothing worth showing off. And yeah, I think it works, oddly enough. With that, if you guys like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. I would appreciate that. Be sure to leave a comment down below as well. Let me know what you think about the transformation itself. Nothing like seeing a good old transformation. I mean, this one in particular was disgusting. I think that a new case was warranted. I know you guys like seeing the old cases like fully cleaned and you know, reused in these builds. And there was nothing really wrong with that case from a layout perspective. It actually had pretty good airflow, especially with that really large exhaust fan at the top. But you know, if it's been through that much, I mean, if you had frickin' spiders, baby spiders, tons of spider webs, a bunch of grime, there was even stuff that wouldn't come out after I had scrubbed it with soap and water. I probably won't even see that on camera. I don't even think I filmed it. But I was really trying to get those small little stains at the base of that case out, and I could not, and it did not look really good. So that's why I just ditched the case altogether. It was just too old. Probably, I don't know, I might spray paint it or something in the future, try to revive it that way. But for now, I think the 802 working wonders. Big thanks to Be Quiet for sponsoring this video, for sending this case here for this viewer. It's gonna be a really nice change of pace there, much more modern enclosure. And they also sent this power supply for a different project, but I figured, why not? It works here too. And yeah, leave a like, subscribe, do all that stuff I just said, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching this far into the video. My name is Greg. Thanks for learning with me.